All right, so this is the west side of the creek on the property. The east side of the property, east side of the creek, is down over here, down the road. This is Van Buren Carolina Road, which is a paved road, and as you can see here, there's an entrance. There's actually a gate at that entrance. The property kind of basically comes along this tree line back just behind their barn, juts over and kind of goes up and then back over and then back along this road. This road basically is on the line going back this direction to the left. All these fields and stuff are on the property, and the creek is just at the just past this tree line right here. It kind of runs along the middle of the property, kind of along this general direction there. So for perspective, that's kind of everything there. Again, everything left of the road is on the neighbor. Everything to the right of the road, going all the way back over this far way, as far as you can see, is part of the property. There's a power line that runs all the way down through here, cuts over closer to the lake, and then back to someone's cabin. There's actually, from what I've been told and what I could see, it looks like there's actually high-speed internet as well as power going back to there, so it runs all along the property there. This is the square field. I'll show some pictures of that I've taken from this corner right here. We've got a deer camera in this back corner of this field, and lots of deer and wildlife and everything coming down through there. So lots of wildlife in these fields. The fields have done very good. There's a farmer who has farmed it. We don't currently have it under lease this year, just to make it extremely flexible for whoever wants to buy the property, but it can be leased out to farmers, and it grows really good crops, is what the farmer told me. So I don't know the exact soil composition, but he said it does really well. That he's done very good with it. As you can see here, here's the start of the 5-acre lake. Here's the curve of the road, and as you can see here, here's the power line cutting across. So for perspective, if we go back to our map, we basically started at this corner, kind of coming up the edge, kind of looking towards the right, and then now we can see this power line cutting across here is right here, and this is where the road kind of curves right there at the tip of the property. And so this is basically everything to the left of this corner is on the neighbor, but everything on the right side of that road is ours. You can see the lake, which it is really low. This is the peak of the summer, and so this is really low, and the beavers have kind of chewed out the dam right here to the right, and we're in the process of having our dozer guy go in and refill that in and clean off that levee and really make it really accessible and really nice, and that'll raise the water level and probably cover a lot of this stuff right in through here as well, raise the water level several feet, because it's extremely low right now on the high point of summer, and with the beavers having chewed down through that. As far as the property line here, it kind of comes along the road and kind of through these trees, and then over, you see where this planted pine is over here. Before you get there, it kind of comes along the boundary here. It splits another pond that's up on the higher ground right here, and kind of goes all the way along, all the way back to the road over here, and then there's the Busy Bee tire shop right over here that's at the very corner of the property. It kind of cuts all along through there, and then everything obviously to the right is part of the property. There's another little area. It's not really a pond, but it's kind of a it's kind of a small wet area that's kind of like a small pond that could be dug out into a nicer pond. But basically, what I've been told, it starts to come up to a little bit of a hill right up here, and a little bit over on this side. And what I've been told by the neighbors and people that's lived there all their life said that there's springs in the hills that will kind of trickle through, and they'll fill up this pond and kind of drain down into here, and it kind of feeds that. And so it's not like really a major gushing spring, but it does seem to always have water in it kind of trickling through. And in the wintertime, obviously when it's draining and stuff, it's much and I've got another separate video during wintertime that you can kind of see how much fuller, more full those are, but that's kind of trickling down into there, which again, we're now flying. We kind of flew up, kind of flying back, looking at that pond, kind of towards this corner here. As you can see, again, the change in the trees here, that's where the neighbor's trail kind of just barely cuts the corner of the property. I believe it is there. It's either there, here, maybe right there. As it looks like, yeah, there it is. It looks like it kind of comes through here and then just cuts the corner of the property right in through there. And you can see again how low the pond is right now. But during the winter time, it definitely fills up quite a bit. So there's that. Get the drone straight. You can see the other neighbor has their lakes, and there's like a little cabin right up in here, which is where that power line was going to. And I think we're going to fly back to the left here. Again, you can see the pond on our portion of the portion of the pond on this property is still got quite a bit of water into it. So the far end of the pond kind of dries up and kind of comes this way, but this is where I think there's a spring or something that's got water that's constantly filling it back up there somehow. So the property line kind of runs along the edge here, back down to the road frontage to the left there, and kind of cuts out around that Busy Bee Tire, and then kind of continues on. So we'll see. Pretty good timber here. It's a mix of pine and hardwood on top of these hills, on top of this ridge here. And again, there's a trail. It's kind of hard to see from here, but there's a trail that kind of runs along through the middle of it that's a four-wheeler trail. You can kind of see the edge of the property a little better right in through there where the trees are different. So there's the Busy Bee Tire, which is the neighbors. And we can zoom in here so you can kind of see this for perspective, kind of how this is cut out of it. And the surveyor is marking everything off, but technically I think it actually cuts across the road. This was a public road all going all the way down through here back in the day, but it's a private road at some point. I don't know exactly right in through here. Somewhere it's turned over to the property owners. But technically you have all this, this is public road access into right in through here. And then I think it crosses the road and comes back down. So we have all of this. The neighbors, the guy who owns the Busy Bee Tire currently has a gate somewhere right in through here, blocking it off. But he's a very agreeable guy, and could probably work out something of having mutual access. Because technically, I think his gate's like right here, where on the other side of this property, and so you just have to work with him to get that resolved. I've talked to the county supervisors, and if you need access in there, it's not going to be a problem. You can see the power line kind of coming through here. This is that little jut out, and we'll fly to the edge of the property so you can see the road frontage there, and then fly around, or turn it around, and fly back the other way. Yeah, I want to say that gate's like right off in here. And this is a paved road as well. Really decent road coming in there. This is going back out. There's a church right there, and this is the Van Buren Carolina, or the Carolina community right here, or there's a church. That may be a community center. I don't remember which. Okay. And then kind of backing up here, you can see the 5-acre lake back here on the top corner. And then you kind of see, it's kind of hard to tell from this angle in the drone shot, but basically I believe it's this area. It may come over here a little bit, but I know this area right in through here where these trees are is part of the property. So it kind of cuts in along here, a couple acres, 2, 3, 4 acres, 5 acres maybe, kind of coming back to this point. There's a gate where that 4-wheeler trail kind of comes up, and there's a gate right back here at the back of his property. Pretty good sized timber on this portion of the property for sure. And then kind of turning back. So again, what we've done, we kind of flew this way, and kind of turning back, looking this way, you can see this has got pretty mature timber, and then these areas have been cut before, right in through here, but they're growing back pretty strong. And a lot of, it's mixed, but a lot of hardwood. So again, the property line is going to be somewhere right off in this general area, where that tree line is there, kind of coming across, and then kind of going back to the creek, or actually maybe more like an angle going back to the creek there. These are the bigger fields at the back, or longer fields at the back. They're really neat. Lots of wildlife, deer activity. There's a hunting stand right in this general area. There's also one back in this corner. And then this is the wetland area, this area right here. So we're kind of flying along here. There's the wetland area. Kind of looking back over the fields. The farmer told me that there's a lot of duck activity down through here. A lot of wood ducks and different types of ducks. I haven't seen a lot of. I haven't been back here. Spent a lot of time back here to look for ducks, but I've been told by several locals and the farmer that there is quite a bit of duck activity. I have seen geese out on the lake. But the flooded timber over there is a really good hardwood timber, flooded hardwood timber there. Should be pretty good for duck hunting if you want. Now we're back over to the creek. So we've kind of flown back over this way. And let's zoom out here. Kind of looking back down the creek here and to the right. So you can see those fields. Again, these are areas that have been cut right in through here a little bit, and then here's areas that are a lot more mature. So it's a pretty good mix. There's quite a bit of timber growing back. A lot of it's hardwood, and then but there are some areas that have been left with mature trees that are very good. Again, you can see the lake, 5-acre lake, and then that road kind of comes in all along those fields, all the way to the entrance over this way. Again, I have a game camera set up in this back corner over here, and I'll show some pictures from that. Lots of wildlife. Again, here's the trail on the east side of the creek. It goes all along the edge of the creek, and then here's the creek itself. And this is where come in the entrance. You can come down here and get right to the creek through the fields there. And I was out there the other night, 2 or 3 nights ago, and saw some deer. Kind of drove through here with my truck, and there was probably close to a dozen or more deer just in this one field alone. That one night we saw probably 20 to 30 deer just driving through the fields and stuff, just kind of checking out the farm. And I actually saw a deer kind of cross right into here. So this is an active game trail where they cross the creek right in through this area. And you can actually, I don't think you can see it from the drone, but they've got kind of an area where they kind of come down and across in this general area. You can almost see the trail, right in through there, I think it was. And so this would be a really good spot for a hunting stand or for a deer camera. Comes all the way back out to the road frontage, which again, paved road frontage with power, public water, and high-speed internet runs out through here, and then also, from what I was told, and also natural gas as well as what I've been told. Small little field right here. The gate and entrance is right here. And kind of coming back along this road view. Looking back towards the lake. You can see that Busy Bee tire for reference over here. Property kind of comes along this edge, across, and then over, and then all of this. Power line coming through the field here, cuts across there, but so it cuts across there, and then comes out over, goes down just a little bit as well. So there's the lake. There's another little entrance down here to get down to the lake, and there's a really cool little fishing spot. My friend has caught fish every time he's fished this lake. Which you can see it's a little low right now. It's still got plenty of water in it for the fish, and there's still fish in it. Yeah, actually, I think, yeah, there he is down there fishing right now. And but you can see definitely when we get that levee fixed, and especially during the wintertime, this lake fills up quite a bit in the spring and fall and wintertime. But there's a little trail that cuts through there. Really beautiful, beautiful farm. I tell you what, it's got lots of wildlife and timber value and potential income with the crops. I mean, just so much potential. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful farm.